Rez back here again, and today we have some sad news that you guys already probably heard about, but that's it. The STI is no more. Same fate as the Evo, but maybe even worse, because the Evo 10 is way better than what Subaru decided to leave us with that Crosstrek or whatever the hell they call the new WRX. But with that being said, I'm just gonna talk about my opinions on what I think about that from the inside of what I think is probably the best STI, the STI hatch. Just like I was saying, what I think is the best STI is going to be the STI hatch. This is my friend's STI. You've seen him in the videos. He's currently on deployment. I'm taking care of the car. He did give me permission to make a few videos with it, so I felt like I wanted to make one specifically about this topic. So yeah, this is it for the STI. Alright, but instead of a moment of silence for the STI, we're going to get a moment of rumble with this cold start. They are glorious. Probably the most iconic car. Engine noise for any car enthusiast out there is going to be this one. So let's go ahead and get that cold start for you. Just like that, sounds great. We're gonna do a few POV driving clips, and I'm gonna talk while we're in the car so we can really experience it. I can let you guys know my thoughts on why I think Subaru's doing this, and why I also think it's a big mistake. So let's get right to that. All right, so hopefully the tripod stays where it needs to stay for right now, but what better way to discuss this topic than to actually drive an STI while I do it. And to prove to you that that's what we're gonna do, I have it in my notes. Subaru fucked up. And we're gonna talk about why I think Subaru fucked up here in a little bit. But that's just to show you guys I am laser focused on this, even though the STI is very good at distracting me. Because if some of you guys don't know, I'm a really big Evo enthusiast, but I did have a Subaru wagon WRX as a daily, and I would love to have a STI hatch or even a WRX hatch as a daily in the future again, because the Subaru Rumble is just so iconic. It's just a great car overall. So let's go and talk. Let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing is going to be why I personally don't think that they're going to be making, or why they're not making the new STI. And personally, I think, if you didn't know, which you probably do because you clicked on this video because you like Subarus, but Subaru has used this STI motor for like the last 1,000,000 years. Like, I think it's been the same motor since like the Bug-Eye STI, or maybe it's the Blob-Eye STI, who knows, but it's the same. I think it's like a EJ25 or some shit, I don't know, but it's the same motor. I'll put it up on the screen because I don't really know it. I just know that it sounds fucking awesome. But yeah, so they've been using the same motor forever, so it doesn't make sense for them to develop a brand new motor for a new STI when everybody's going like electric and the future is electric, blah blah blah. Screw that, I prefer my internal combustion engines all day. But that's where all the manufacturers are going, and they've been using this motor for so long that with all the money that they probably have to spend on like R&D and whatnot for a new STI motor to make. All right, so hopefully it stays this time. But like I was saying before, was rudely interrupted by the tripod falling. They've been making this motor for so long that like it doesn't make sense for them to make a new one when it's only gonna have a few production years, and then they have to live up to everybody's expectations of what the STI is, especially with the big flop that they did with the new WRX, which in my opinion, it's a whole nother video could be, but that was a flop. Like, it looks like a lowered Crosstrek kind of, like why the plastic cladding. Like, nobody that uses all that stuff is actually, nobody that actually like overlands is really taking a WRX out there to do that, and none of these people are rallying their WRXs. So I thought that was a big mistake. They should have just left that for the cross treks. Now we're gonna move on to our next topic, but first, this video is sponsored by internal combustion motors and the happiness that they bring me with this pull that we're about to do, which is gonna be rough because I think that the camera is gonna fall over, but let's try to get it anyways. So let's go ahead and hit this pull. We'll do a third here. Here we go. Woo! Yeah. Perfect. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about why I personally think that this is a mistake. This is a real big mistake that Subaru is doing, because just like with like the Evo, we saw how that went as soon as they got rid of it. Mitsubishi kind of turned to junk. They had nothing. They didn't have the brand loyalty. The only thing that Subaru does have, though, is that they do have brand loyalty, brand loyal customers, or whatever you want to say it. People that love Subarus love Subarus, but it's not so much in that rallycross history anymore as to it is on the overlanding side, the go out there and do everything type of people. So it's not so much like the car enthusiasts, it's more like the adventurous enthusiasts or whatever, with a handful of people. With the new BRZ, great car I've heard. I can't wait to drive one. Got that lined up in the future video. The new BRZ, I've heard great things. The new WRX, nobody really likes it, but only time will tell. A lot of people didn't like this new one. And from what I've been told, or what I read about, a lot of people didn't even like the hatchback when they came out, so much that Subaru made like a sedan version of it later on. Or maybe they just had the sedan the whole time and I just misread something. But yeah, I think it's a mistake. I think that Subaru's gonna mess up. They're gonna end up going downhill. They're not gonna have any more performance cars besides like the BRZ, which is like super like it only hits like a certain market because it's not turbocharged. It's more like a momentum car. So that's all that we're really gonna have of Subaru performance, I think. So I think it is a big mistake. Let's get another quick pull here. Oof, rest in peace, STI. But yeah, so like I was saying, they're gonna go on to the next topic and pretty much just being like, what could because they didn't say they were gonna stop making the STI forever. They just said that the next STI was gonna be electric, which again, kind of has conflicting thoughts, because look at what happened to Mitsubishi when they brought back the Eclipse. Fucking SUV crossover bullshit. Like, nobody wanted that to be called an Eclipse. They just did it because they're like, well, let's take a name from the used junk pile. They pulled out Eclipse. So it didn't end up very well. They were just using a name that was recognizable with their cars, and it just ended up being shit at the end of the day. So not very good there. But I don't think if they make an electric, like a powertrain, like a Subaru powertrain that's just all electric, that doesn't have the rumble, I don't think it'll be an STI. An STI without that iconic Subaru rumble is just not right. It's completely wrong. I don't think that's what they should go with. I think they should definitely go with something else. If they want to they use the STI branding in a lot of their other vehicles, so it's not like they haven't done it before where they put STI on other things, but the STI badge, that like heritage, comes from the WRX STI out in World Rallycross, and I think making that electric without that rumble, it's just not an STI, in my opinion. Alright, so let's get down to pretty much my final thoughts and how this kind of came out of nowhere from Subaru. Because looking at the Tokyo Auto Salon, they did have kind of like an STI teaser out there. They had a WRX loaded with STI parts, and it actually looked pretty cool to me. And I was excited. I was like, that wing looks crazy, but maybe it could be the new STI. And then out of nowhere, they were just like, nope, no more STI for this gen. Sorry, try again next time. And that's just crazy. That's why it came out of nowhere. They didn't have a press conference. They didn't do anything. It was just like, hey, BT dubs, you're not getting STI. See you guys next time. So ultimately, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. It's gonna make it way harder for me to find an STI now, because like I said, I do want an STI. I want to own one, an STI hatch, or even just like I said, I'd settle for like a WRX hatch just because they make such great dailies. They're very practical. They have a lot of usability overall, no matter what you want to do, which is why the WRX STI at the end of the day was such an iconic car. And it just kind of sucks that they're going to end it off with this weird looking cross-trek plastic WRX thing as the last, like, the last version of the WRX. It's kind of pretty depressing for Subaru fans. But everybody with an STI, y'all just got, your stock just went up because they're not making them anymore, so they're going to be a lot harder to find. And the prices are just going to go up. So like I said, I'm going to do a few pulls here so you guys can see, and then just imagine while you're watching these pulls that song from all those late night commercials. I'll go ahead and see if I can find a clip of it, but if not, I'll sing it myself. In the arms of an angel, rest in peace STI. Say what's up to the Evo while you're up there, because we won't see you ever again probably, and if we do, it won't be anything like this. Woo! Awesome. But I'll let you guys go. You already know what to do. Enjoy these flybys.